Hey guys, sorry for getting this kind of late to you. So regarding the waveforms that we want for after the quake, I was thinking about it for a little bit, and I think that, despite the wide variety of emotions and the wide intensity of emotions that exist, really what we need to really concern ourselves with is representing everything in simple waveforms that increase according to a change in intensity. So there are really just four waveforms that I've drawn here. They represent four things: anger, emotional turmoil, drama and or tension, and joy and levity. I'll take you through them right now. So what I've done here is, on the left hand side represents the least intense version of this emotion, and the right hand side represents the greatest intention. Everything starts from a baseline, which is always flat. So as we see points in the play where there's an increase in anger, we're going to be seeing an increase in the number of fissures in this baseline. And not only are the number of fissures going to be increasing, they're going to be changing in color and becoming a darker orange or red. They start off colorless in the beginning. In fact, everything starts off colorless. The first two start off colorless in the beginning. For the sake of briefness, I've divided everything into subsets of four, thresholds. So at 25% anger, it's a little fissure. 50%, it's a little bit greater, so on and so forth. So that's anger. The second one represents sorrow and or emotional pain. Any kind of emotional turmoil whatsoever, to me, seems to come off something like the beating of a heart. It's pulsing. It's this blue concentric circle that's expanding and contracting in a slow manner that really just throbs according to the pain that the character is experiencing. Once again, we can see intensity portrayed by size of sorts, where in the beginning the size of the circles are very small, but they increase towards the end. The color would be dark blue once again, so they're pulsing in and out. Next we have drama and tension. So drama and tension here are represented as seismograph waves. It's very basic. Again, the color is variable, but I'm thinking yellow here. I didn't quite write it down. Basically, as we increase in drama and tension, we just see the seismograph waveform play for a longer time, which represents an increase in drama and tension. We could also change amplitude, but an amplitude does in fact change from 25% to 50%. We see a slight change, and again 50 to 75%, another greater change. And as it becomes greater and greater, we just see this continue for a longer time. So it'll seem like there's a lot of noise and a lot of tension, which I think is reflective of a character's emotional state as the adrenaline is pumping through, and tough decisions are to be made, and so on and so forth. There are two types of joy and levity. I kind of realized. One is the joy and levity of letting go, of freedom, of carefreeness. What I thought of that, or what I think of when I think of that, is I think of a sakura petal that's just floating. If you guys have ever seen Forrest Gump in the very beginning, when you see the feather that just kind of lightly twirls and carries its way forth, that's kind of where I got this inspiration from. So we can start off by introducing a sakura flower and getting a petal to just kind of move in an upward trend in a manner that's very slow and relaxed and peaceful. It can also grow in size. In fact, the petal, I've envisioned it to grow in size as it moves upwards, and as this sense of joy and levity increases. Next, we have a joy and levity, which is a sense of accomplishment and or growth. I should probably have labeled this a little bit different. And anyways, how I see this is, I see the growth of a sakura plant. I know that it's a cherry blossom reality, but whatever. Let's just go with a fact that you're creating this growing plant, and at the greatest stage of this sense of accomplishment and happiness, we're seeing this plant flower, and I think that would really represent a sense of growth and a sense of accomplishment. So once again, let's go through this. We have anger, which is represented by these fissures. We have emotional pain, which is represented by pulsing concentric circles. Drama and tension, which are represented by seismograph waves that are essentially just noise. We have a sense of joy and levity with a growing and upwardly moving sakura petal, and then a sense of growth in this joy and levity, which is represented by the growth of a sakura plant, which eventually flowers at its greatest, at its peak. So, regarding potential ways that we could do this, I'm thinking maybe we could do this by having everything as a predetermined image, wherein everything in this image blends in with the background, and with a increase in intensity causes a gradient to kind of move through the image, and as this gradient moves through the image is lit up. So for example, with regards to the fissure, we're having, you know, a stage 4 fissure, so to the maximum anger, and, you know, according to the input that we're getting in, we're only seeing a gradient that moves so far in, therefore we're only exposed to maybe a 50% anger, and so on and so forth. That's just a possible idea of how to implement this. We still have to work on that, but I think this is a potentially good way and a good path for us to head down. So thanks.